Alright, I think this is on. Looks like we are live. Um, Someone can tell me if we are or not. Let me know on IRC if it's going. So welcome to live Q&A number 3 with Wally, answering any questions about the DB, Arcona, um, and any of the positions I'm involved in. So we'll start with Kaz's first question is, Dear Waldo, can you do a backflip? Absolutely not. I have no acrobatic skills whatsoever. I can do uh, that's about it. I can't do any other real acrobatics or anything. I could do a tumble, but there's not enough room in my room. It's kind of small. I can fall really well. Let's see. Casimir then. No, I'm not doing a backflip, Kaz. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Goddamn. I'm gonna punch Lexic now, and you, David, because no one's getting my sister's number. I'm sorry. It's not happening. This happens every single time. It's funny once or twice, but it's not happening. Sorry, done. Next up is from Cat. Wally, I can do drunken cartwheels. You should do a backflip. Show people the power of the dark side. No, I don't get why anyone thinks I can do a backflip. I'm like tall and lanky. I can't do backflips. I'm sorry. I can maybe do like a little. I can do a barrel roll maybe. Ow, fucker. Alright. That's as acrobatic as you get. Sorry. Happy? There. Done. How successful do you feel your live Q&A sessions have been? And do I get anything special for being the first legit question? Eska, you get my eternal gratitude. But I actually think these are good. I think that it goes onto our Google Plus page. I'm hoping that as they pick up more steam, maybe some of the other leaders will catch on, or maybe we can potentially do workshops or other ways to enhance the DB, get our image out there, see that we're more than just a Star Wars club or a community of people that all have a common interest. And I guess everyone can catch on to the fact that every single person in the club can agree on the only thing that they can agree on is my sister's number, which is still not happening. So stop asking. But I hope that these pick up and do well, and I think they add a little bit of liveliness to the walls of text and such. Done. Sprite chimes in and asks, I'm pausing the Veronica Mars movie to be here. Do you get bonus points? Yes. You get very many bonus points for being here. This is all part of the subtle way we are going to indoctrinate you into joining us. Okay, Kaz asks a question of, do you, as a magistrate to the voice, believe that we'll ever see a gray-sided path option? Also, is there any teaser for the possible fiction society? Yes, I am magistrate to the voice, but that really goes into more of this approving CSs and working with Mav on the ACC stuff and on the back end on developing aspects, feats, and future advancements for the club. That's really what my capacity is in the position. So I don't actually know anything about the fiction society. I'm really excited for it. I think it's a good concept. I like what Saren has hinted at, to me at least, in terms of it rewarding people for their fictions the same way that the GMG, the Royal Guard rewards you for earning CFs. And that's cool because I don't think we've really ever had anything like that that I've seen in my time. So I'm actually not sure. But Gray-Sided Path, I don't see a reason for it. Most of us are Dark Jedi and play Grey Jedi anyway, and then some of us play Jedis that are on the darker side because they used to be dark side. Again, I write my character as being Force agnostic. So Marick doesn't view the Force as good or bad, it just is a tool to use, and it just is, kind of. So I don't, I'm a leader of a unit of darkety dark Jedi, but I don't know. I don't see it as being any merit to having a gray-sided path option. The other questions lead into how we have one light-sided house. There's a bunch of talk about what that could mean for the rest of the club. There's a lot of torn views on that. It's a different discussion, but it's all worth discussion. But the actual answer to the question, on me tangenting, I apologize, is I don't think that there's any reason for there to be a gray path. But again, I'm just me. All right. Kat asks, Wally, do you often get in trouble for swearing like some of us do? Who gets in trouble for fucking swearing? That's silly. I don't know anyone who gets in trouble for swearing. Unless they're in Odinur, maybe. I think Odinur gets us upset. I don't know. Fuck that. Okay. Lexic asks, I have to ask that as Shadow Lord, what is your mission to improve the Equites and Elders of Arcona? The hard thing to do is that we focus so hard on member retention, using the Arcona system to get newbies into the club, integrated, feeling a part of the team, this and that it often feels that we get that Dark Jedi Nightwall and it's like, oh, well, now what? I think the best way we address that is by the Arcona projects, which Lex has been handing up. I know it's been kind of on a little bit of a back burner because we've had the Fading Light going on, and that took up, I think as that fades down to only there's only going to be 5 or 6 or 7 of us eventually, and lower, and we'll see more time being able to be dedicated to those little projects like wiki development, fictional development, project ideas, all that different stuff. The best plan, though, in terms of improvement for skills is run competitions, make sure people are writing and writing and writing. The more you write, the better you get. The more you game, the better you're going to game. So we're working on, we've done it a little bit with the ACC where we've created a group of the Arcona Combat Center, that we call it. That's a group of all the people who are interested in the ACC where we can exchange notes, things we saw that worked, didn't work, make sure we're getting proofreads, and we are still very much have that plan of the Arcona training groups with fiction, gaming, and this would be things like you getting to sit down and learn JA, Jedi Academy, from Sethius, which is a really terrible teacher, but if you actually pay attention, you can probably learn how one of the best in the DB plays. But it's a very good question, and something that I'm always thinking of is how we can all improve, not just Elders or Equites, the entire clan as a whole. That's kind of what I have to look at as Consul. In case you don't already do this, will you ever choose some of the best questions from the spotlight in the reports? It's a good question. I can probably, if there's really good ones, I can probably watch the transcription back and pick out things I really like or pick out quotes. Honestly, that's really more of I want to hear what you guys say. If you guys listen into this and highlight what you guys think would be the best to include in the reports, I'm sure I have no problem adding them in and adding quotes and stuff like that. No, Kaz, I can't fix the Google broadcasting system. I'm sorry. I don't have that power. Google is way above my head. Yes, right. I'm. Hope you've heard of Cat, and that actually terrifies me. The thought of you two. Yeah, that's actually almost as terrifying as you and Abby. Yeah, that would be bad. That could be very terrifying. Sorry, I just saw this. This is from Laxic. Shut it, David. I did not. I wish to ask that as a Hapan and thinking in your character's mind, can he see more intellectually or psychologically? I don't really know how to answer that, I guess, because Marick is definitely an intellect. He's very calculated and assassiny and always weighing things and measuring things and calculating. So I think that he's definitely more intellectual than getting inside of other people's heads. And I think he's very internalized with everything that he does, which is probably a result of his shitty upbringing. And there's an evil laugh from Cat. Oh boy. No, Kaz, you cannot take my sister ice skating. Go away. And yes, I can insert a ACB promo advertisement, which is you'll see the announcement of First Blade of Arcona from the first month of the ACB. The pilot's going really well. We had over 20 contracts written up for that month, and we have some rolling into this month now, and we put a new policy into place about extensions and reviving a contract if you didn't get a chance to pick it up. So that'll be more in the report. Yeah, so again, I'm really addressing a lot of that in the report. Shut up, Guido. Strat says, the elders of Arcona don't need improving, damn it. The price of rent is too damn high. Brrr. Ain't nobody got time for that. Sorry, Strat. Cat asks, is darkety dark the scientific term? Yes, from the great philosopher known as a Sith alchemist, I should say. I don't want to name any names, but once upon a time in a run-on was very adamant on the darkety dark sableness and blackness of his soul and his character. So that's kind of transitioned, I think, into a subtle joke. But darkety dark is probably in the DJB encyclopedia of actual words, obviously. Just jumping back to this really quick. Due to personal issues, is it possible to submit a late ACB? Kat, that question is exactly what I was talking about. For example, if your contract expired, you have the ability to reopen the contract, and you have 14 days from the time of that opening. Hold on 1 second.
Yes, did you order anything?
Okay, sorry. Delivery package. I got a package that came. Shiva, come here. Would you like to join me to answer questions? So, anyway, so you are now going to be able to extend a contract even if it's expired. But once you extend it, you have to complete it in those 14 days, and if you don't, the contract's permanently going to be closed. And the big reason for that is I want to make sure we're training people and getting everyone ready for the war coming up and the end of the fading light, where we're going to be under timetables, and you have to be able to meet those timetables. And I'm all for leniency based on real life things, but we have to learn that sometimes you got to get something in really quick. Lexic asks, do you think a proofreading course would be beneficial? Does the writing studies department already do this? I don't know how you'd really teach a class on proofreading other than to just bash everyone over the head and say, hey, make sure you're getting a proofreader. There is like grammar studies and a few other things like that that probably could be updated maybe, and maybe we can put more emphasis on maybe using Google Docs to properly, like how to properly proofread something, how to offer suggestions. Definitely something I think we could talk to that would definitely fall under Shadow Academy and something to talk to Bubba about and see if he, thinks that's something we could do. Oh, any teasers for this Fade thing I've heard? The Fade is basically something we have been talking about and discussing on the summit for a while as a way of rewarding people for recruiting and then training members up to Dark Jedi Knight. And so until the NPC system becomes official, we've always been creating NPCs for our armed forces that represent characters based on these numbers we have. And so what we're going to be doing is I bought another regiment of Wilderness Rangers, which are just like generic, kind of spec op soldiers that are what you would expect from like an army ranger. And we're going to be assigning those. So if after your first one, you'll get one of our Mandalorian warrior clan people as a kind of attach. And the whole concept is that these people aren't loyal to Arcona; they're loyal to your character. So yeah, it should be cool. I'm going to outline everything in the report, and you'll see that. But we've already gone through and tallied up who got what and who has the most points of recruits. And I think Dash wins easily because I think he has like 6 or 7 members he's trained the DJK in his time, which is pretty crazy, including, yeah, there's a lot of them. Eska asks, I've noticed that some parts of Arcona don't seem to be included much in the fiction and such as the DIA, which I will rely on more, and Shadesworn ranks, to name a couple. Do these need to be reworked to used? The Shadesworn rewrite, I kind of just took that on myself and did it. One night I sat down and just went through it. I have no problem. Down you go. I have no problem with trying to expand that, work it more into the storylines. It is very new. It's something we've had around for a while, but in terms of how I reimagined it, it's still being worked into how we coordinate with like our Shadesworn ranks and how that affects the military side of our armed forces. The DIA has always been in the background. We haven't really ever like sat down, and it's just always kind of like how the CIA is referenced in the background of a cop show. It's like, oh, how do we know this? Oh, the DIA gave us that information. And it's always been, Tim is at the head of that, and then Sox was, involved with it for a while. So it's just kind of our secret service, and that's how we know things. But can definitely be worked in and stuff. Hello, Kimchi Kitty. Eska asks again, to touch on your talking of extension of ACB, if you fail the extension, will you receive an additional negative point count? No, it'll just be -2. It's just you'll always end up with a -2, it's just you're giving yourself the chance to extend the contract. It also, someone took time to write the contract. It's annoying as a person to do that if you turn down if you just turn down that contract, you should get a chance to finish that contract that was created specifically for you and your request, in my opinion. The Nighthawk is going to get its long-range turbo laser battery thing. Yeah, well, you know what? That was your guys' award for being awesome and doing good. If you guys can continue to keep that up, if we can keep keeping our participation numbers at the top. If we can, you know, get this going and keep our momentum and keep getting all those participation points, I think that we can definitely add it onto the future list of purchases. But we'll see how it goes. You know, once possession comes out, we're gonna have to rework a bunch of stuff. But for the time being now, I would say, if you want it, you gotta earn it. That's just how most things are now. I will shift. You guys have known I'm not afraid to close something, shift things, rearrange something that's been established for a long time if it means, you know, trying something new and getting something to work. So you guys got to work for it. If you guys work for it, I will do everything I can to reward you and give you, you know, rewards for that. So Lexic then asks, so when you're discussing about the assignments of NPCs such as Mandalorian soldiers, wilderness rangers, do you suggest that a custom aspect on the CS can be made and to introduce this new leadership, or is it published? It will be strictly located on the wiki. I don't think that they need to be listed on your they don't need to be listed on your character sheet, as this is purely something that exists within your expanded lore. Which, if you the character sheet is your character, your specifications, but your wiki serves as your history, your backstory, stuff like that, and that's where it's going to end up living. Is I'm going to have a template for you guys that I'm going to use my own fades. So I have 2 fades that I get as examples, and you'll be able to use that template and create your own. And then you just, the same way that scythe roll get linked to your wiki page, it's going to be very similar to having a scythe roll, or you know, you have a pet act dog, you know, stuff like that. These are just basically, we can actually say for once that these are actually official Arcona Forces members that are actually attached to you, and the hope is that they can start showing up in your fictions, they can start showing up and adding dynamic to your character and your interactions with them. And the real, obviously, big reason for them is because we need to recruit. We need more firepower. I don't care if you think I don't care that we're the biggest unit in the Brotherhood, we can get bigger, we can grow, we can expand. We can get better. We can get more people, and we got to keep the machine going. Info on cooperative ACV contracts in the future. I'm going to use a industry term and be like, it's something we're considering. You know, it's definitely something that's on the horizon. I want to get a few more, a month, maybe more or so, of, you know, getting this pilot. We keep learning things, we keep moving. I want it to be more refined and keep getting better, and then we can start experimenting with other modes to it. Let me just check IRC. I think this was a question asked to me from Placian, but he said, do you think Muzz is going to be GM for life? And he could be. He's done it long enough. But, you know, I think he has his goals, he has what he has in mind, and, you know, at one point he is going to deserve to step off. He's done more work than anyone else in this club has in the past 5 years, and it's admirable, and he should be respected for what he's put in for us. Not trumpet-blowing genuine question. From Mark. What fictional benefits are there to being First Blade? I haven't thought of any. It's a title. There might be, but honestly it's more of just a competitive title that you get to say that you can use on your wiki, or if you win multiple ones in a row, that type of thing. But it's really just kind of a title, and I want it to be a rolling title, so like now you have to defend your title. Because if you just won this month, someone else can get it next month, and it, you know, the whole concept is to keep momentum going, make sure people can have something to compete for, even if it's not something like literally tangible. But Eska, one day that will be mine. I don't know. That's not a question, Kat. I'm sorry. When are you going to see Transformers? I don't know. I'm probably gonna go tomorrow because all I've wanted to do for the past 2 weeks is go see Transformers. I never get a chance to, and no one wants to go with me. So I'm gonna just go by myself, pay lots of money, go watch it in IMAX and watch giant robots, including Optimus, go beat other robots up. And I do not care if the story sucks. Doesn't matter to me. Sprite, we have this really awesome thing called the Shadow Academy. And the Shadow Academy, when you join the Brotherhood, Shadow Academy, we have a whole thing called the Journeyman Hall, and that Journeyman Hall is just basically like really quick, easy, like question and answers, and it tells you all about the club and all these random terms that I'm talking about, which also are a lot of internal things, since a lot of the stuff I've been talking about is new things within Arcona, so they aren't really anywhere else. But when will we have another clan-wide operation? Asuka, did you like... I love you, Asuka. You're the perfect little member right now and Battle Team Leader. When will we have another clan-wide event such as Operation Sojourn, but better? Well, fuck you. Sojourn was awesome and run better than anything that's been run in this club in years. So, screw you. We are working on a new event. I don't have any information to really share with you guys about it other than it's going to be headlined by Deathkiss and Valtier as the two Quaestors, and I'm going to be either stepping off and kind of just observing, or, depending on how they set it up, I might decide to participate. We'll see. Depends on how I feel. But that's coming soon. We just have to work out logistics. Valt is just getting his internet settled as he's moved, and yeah, expect that's coming, definitely. Yes, Kat, I endorse the essay because the Journeyman Hall is the only part of it that actually makes sense to me. The Journeyman Hall is great. The Journeyman Hall came from one of my ideas where I was sending out emails being like, here is how you submit to a competition. Here is how you do a graphics event in 5 minutes. And so yes, I am known notoriously for not liking the essay at all, which is just a personal thing, has nothing to do with the essay itself. I hated school, I hate taking tests, and I consider my exam not to be brain surgery, or a test really. It's more of just showing that you read. The answers are very organic to you actually being able to use your ACCing and stuff, but yeah, I don't hate the essay. I mean, I just don't prefer to take tests and exams for fun like people do here, where they go on binges and win Mavens and stuff. And power to you. Everyone has everyone's boat, you know, whatever your boat floats. Thank you, Sprite. Ignoring that, let's see. Ernardeth asks the very important question of, what does the fox say? And in response, I'm going to actually do this. Okay, Google. What does the fox say?
Gee ding 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 a ding a ding.
Google knows what's up. Eska, you got praise for bringing up a question that is going to be in the report. So I thought you were being like, you're like seeing into my head. And then I stopped when I realized that you added the tractor at the end. Well, I know we can get better, but come on, it was awesome. Feed my ego a little bit. I don't have one. Oh, look, a lighty. Look at the little lighty. Can I be Arcona's token lighty? You know, like a mascot or something. Yeah, I mean, that means you're going to have to spend more time with Tarok, so I'm sure that'll work out well for both of you, if you know what I mean. But yes, you may be our token lady, if you'd like. Yeah, we don't really have one, so you know what? Go for it. You are our now token lady and one of the few ladies we won't make fun of for wanting to save all the bunnies. Well, we want to step on the bunnies because we're dark Jedi and evil, obviously. Yes, it is. It should. Yeah, it should be a good pickup line. Whatever your boat floats. I totally meant that on purpose. I swear. Any news about Apex Brigade fiction, comps, and run-ons? That is a very great question to ask your battle team leader, Adam. I would check in with Adam and see what they have in store. You can also check in with Alaris and Valt. They have more information on the individual goings of the battle teams. Can the op be to kill the lady? That makes absolutely no sense, Mark, and no. You don't get to kill anyone. Otherwise, I'll take your ops. What is typically the limit for battle team members when it comes to expansion? I actually don't know what there was a policy based on the old code of around 10, I think. You couldn't have more. I think James disabled that in the new site. I don't quote me on that. I don't know the answer. I might impose a hard cap if I see that things are getting out of control and that we're not having balance, because ultimately reboot and the whole concept of the battle team is to always maintain balance. Erner, you always know just what to say to a girl to make her happy. Thank you, buddy. I don't have an ego, so... Yeah, well, your face instead, okay? Any more questions? Because it's probably keeping everyone too long. Let's see. Cat asks, how can Mark make fun of someone's face with that forehead? That's no forehead. That's no moon, that's no forehead. That's all I'll say to that. Although I think Mark would get excited if his forehead was the Death Star. Mark, you can't say 2012 called me want their joke back when the only joke you have on me is a joke that people have been using about me since I was like 10 years old. Yes, I'm a Jew and I have a big nose. Ha ha ha. Why did the cop smell? Wait, why am I'm blanking on that. Was that a... I don't know, Erner. I'm blanking, sorry. Site asks, how is the puppy? And you guys saw her earlier, but she's... Oh, she's right here. That's her spot on the floor. She stays there because it's cool. It's kind of hot here, so. Ah get it, he was on duty. Da-dum. Okay. Yes, Kat, you can go back to Archer. Danger zone. Last question before I turn this off. Side asked in Arcona, what is the future of Arcona looking like for post-Fading Light and post-Great Jedi War? And, it's really far ahead. It's very hard. My big focus now is making sure we're all ready for the war. That's been my #1 focus and will be my #1 focus for the rest of the year now. I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell you where I'll be, how I'll be. This will be my year. I'll be in Consul for a year. this July at the end of the month. So we'll see. I don't know. I really, obviously the effects of that war are gonna ripple through Brotherhood history. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be huge, and we have a lot of pressure riding on it, and we have to win. There's no alternative. There's no excuse. We have to figure out how we're gonna win it, and we're gonna win it. After that, same old, same old. Tiger Blood's a state of mind. Arcona wins. That's what we do. We're the best, and we're gonna continue to be the best, and that's the best I can say. Two questions. Can we have a comp to guess his forehead length? And where do you see yourself in 4 years? In 4 years, I hope to see myself directing the next Star Wars movie that comes out. I want to get into that cycle where Disney's trying to create movies every year. And I hope that my little short film that I did, which will be cut into 2 versions, one version will be a trailer for the DB, and one's going to be a short film of my own, just to have. And hopefully that will, in another 4 years from now, that'll put me at 30. And by 30, I would like to be making a lot more money than I'm making now, but still in production. And, I would love to fulfill my dream of directing a Star Wars. So, probably been my dream since I was like 8. Winning, yes, and yes, cat. Danger zone. Alright guys, not going to bother anyone else with this now, so I think that's the last question. This is it, Earn or Death. Breaking news what? Also, I don't really follow soccer, but sucks for Brazil. Star Wars be filmed with IMAX. Good, it should be done in IMAX, not 3D. There's a very big difference between IMAX and IMAX 3D, and as long as it's shot in IMAX, IMAX is awesome because then they do 7.2 surround sound. It's great visual. As long as they don't do the stupid 3D stuff. If they do, I'm going to be really upset. Alright, leave me alone with Arcona style. It's not my fault that I made the best video ever and still got 4th place because the judges can't take jokes. I'm not bitter about it, I promise. Anyway, that's it for now. Read the report. The report has a bunch of stuff in it. I've spent most of my day today working on it. I got up at like 10:30 and started writing and turning around the HCB and making sure everything was good for you guys. So check out the report, and if you like these, let me know in the comments, support, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next month for this.